हेलो एवरीवन। सो लास्ट वीडियो हमने सॉल्व किया था क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, दैट इज कस्टमर्स हु विजिटेड बट डिड नॉट मेक एनी ट्रांजैक्शन। सो इस वीडियो में हम सॉल्व करने वाले हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 9, जो कि है राइजिंग टेम्परेचर्स। सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। ओके, so the question has one table, and in that table we have three columns, that is id, record date, and temperature. So it says that id is the column with the unique values for this table. There are no different rows with the same record date. So the record date in all the entries will be different, and this table contains information about the temperature on a certain day. Now what they ask is write a solution to find all the dates IDs with the higher temperature compared to its previous dates. So that is yesterday. Return the result table in any order. So let's look at an example. So in the weather table, you see we have with ID 1 and the record date as 1, temperature is 10, on 2 25, 3 20, and on 4 we have 30. So what the question asks as a result table is the IDs of all the dates which has higher temperature compared to its previous dates. Previous date in the sense, if it is 4, then on the 4 date we have higher temperature as compared to on the date 3. So it's the immediate previous date. Okay, so in this weather table, you can see that on the date 4, we have temperature of 30, but on 3, we have 20. So ID 4 will be included in the result table. Then we have ID 3. It has a temperature of 20, but on the previous day, we have the temperature of 25. So it will not be included because the previous day has higher temperature than today. And with the ID of 2, we have a temperature of 25, and on the previous day, that is 1, we have temperature of 10. So this ID2 will also be included in the result table. So now let's see a solutions. But before that, how should we solve this question, or like how should we approach this question? So you see in this question, we are comparing the entries with the entries in the same table. For example, we compared the entry with the ID 4 to the entry with the ID 3, and then 3 with the 2, and then 2 with the 1. So in such a cases, we will do the join of the table with itself. So let's write the query to show you an example what the join will return as and how can we use that join result to solve this problem. So we'll select everything from weather table, and we will join it with the same table, weather comma weather, but we'll have to give names to them. So for example, this is W table and this is WW table. When we join this table, we'll get something, and that is the cross join of these two tables, which will contain 16 entries. So if you count the entries, you'll find these are 16 entries, and then two entries are hidden. Let me show you in the other tab. So you can count here, the entries will be 16. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and then 16. Okay. So why are these entries 16? Because when we do join with the same table or any other table, we will multiply each entry with every entry in the other table. So for example, we have ID 1. This ID will be joined with the 4 entries of the same table. So the ID 1 will be matched with ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly for 2, it will be matched with 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, and 2, 4. So from this view, you can see that the ID 1 the ID1 is matched with 4, ID1 is matched with 3, ID1 is matched with 2, and ID1 is matched with 1. So this is for the ID1, this is for ID2, this is for ID3, and then we'll have 4. Now what can this join solve our problem? So you see these two dates are same. We can ignore this entry because we see that we want the records in which today's temperature is higher than the yesterday's temperature. So these two dates are same. So we'll have to remove these dates. So let me remove all those dates which have same dates on both the record date entries. So here it we will remove this date. Then okay, so after removing the entries in which both the table and the self join will contain the same dates, we get this result set. And in this result set, what we want is that this table is the W table and this one is WW table. Okay. So this is W table and then we have WW table. So let's say W is today, right? And WW is for yesterday. So today's date will be higher than yesterday's date. One more than the yesterday's date. So this is 4, this must be 3, right? And this must be 3. So this entry is again invalid. This one is 3 and this is 1. So this is also invalid similarly. But okay, this one is the valid entry because this date is 2 and this is 1. This is 4, this is 2. This is invalid. This is 3 and this is 2. Valid, invalid, valid, invalid, 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 and then invalid and invalid. So we are left with 3 entries in which today's date is higher than the previous or yesterday's date. We have date of 2, this is date 1, 3, 2, and this is 4, and then is this is 3. Now in this also we want that the temperature of today should be higher than temperature of yesterday's. So this entry is valid, this entry is invalid, this entry is again valid. Now in this resulting result set, what we want is IDs only. So you take IDs from this table, that is 2 and then is 4. That is our result. So now let's try to translate this into the query. So first we do join and then we use the where condition. And in the where condition, we use that today's temperature is greater than yesterday's temperature. This is one of the condition. And then other condition is the today's date must be one higher than the previous date. So if today is 3, then yesterday must be 2. So we have a function in SQL that is date diff. This will give the difference of dates. So we will use today's date minus yesterday's date and it must be 1, right? Now if today is let's say 3 then yesterday is 2, it will give 1. But if today is 2 and yesterday is 3, it will give minus 1. So we'll have to use the parameters accordingly. First we'll pass the today's date and then yesterday's date. So today minus yesterday will be 1. Then this entry is valid. So let's see if this gives us the correct result or not. Okay. So we get 2 and 4 and you see the temperature of today is higher in both the cases and the date is also higher than the previous day's date. But all we want is the ID of the day. But we have two columns here. Which ID should we use? So we want the ID of today. So that is W table and we use the ID of that table. We cannot simply write ID because it will create the conflict because the resulting table will be having two IDs column. We have to specify which ID column we want and we want today's table ID column. Now we'll submit this and see if this result get accepted or not. Okay, so our solution is accepted